Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Simmer M, and it's been a minute. Um, I've just been crazy with school, and so I haven't really been able to do much. You can see I kind of quickly went through and did my layout for the place, and I really was not sure what I was gonna do. So I actually cut out like probably 30 minutes of me like doing a layout when what it is now I did first, and I went back to like 20 different times. Um and I still really did not know what I was doing. I ended up using a lot of blooming rooms, or I think that's what it's called. And I just really had no clue what I wanted for this apartment. And you'll see I at the end I think it does really come together. I kind of had a sim in mind that like was an interior designer when I started, but I think it maybe could still stand, but now I see it more as like maybe someone who definitely likes plants, like big into reading. I could see it being like some sort of collector. There's a lot of different items around. Um, but there's not like a specific sim I had in mind when I made this, which kind of makes it difficult. Um, you'll see I used those curtains for the window and that little plant. So cute, I love it. But like I spent a good 30 minutes trying to figure out what tile to put back, but since I'm on a platform, it just like wasn't working, and I wasn't a huge fan of any of the tile, and you'll see I figure it out eventually. But it did take a while. The kitchen was the only spot I really knew where I wanted it. Originally, the main lower part I was gonna have be the kitchen, and it just did not work. I put that in there for like 30 minutes just trying to get things in, and eventually I really just cut out a bunch of it at the beginning of this video. And then I was gonna make where the kitchen is now a living room, so I could easily like flip that around. When it did come to the living room, I had no clue where to put a TV because I'm not a huge fan of like covering up windows or anything, and that area did have a lot of windows, and the only other area that doesn't is right by the main front door, so that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But I think what I ended up doing is really cute. I really like the idea of making a bookshelf along this entire back wall because I wanted it to be a lot of darker woods and things like that. And that desk that I just put in, the kind of like two-tiered, is what I end up going with. You'll see I put a different desk there for like a while. I stick with it. But I don't know, something about it just didn't seem right. And yeah, but I started the bookshelf just over there, and I'm like, you know what? It could look really cute if I had it all over. And I really like the curved ones. I just think they look cute. But I'm like, you know what? Let's try and do this flat ones. Maybe I could make that the TV stand. And it just felt weird having the flat ones next to the curved ones, so I ended up making the entire space the square ones, which I think looks really cute. And I did end up filling those up off camera just because it took me a while to decide what I wanted in each one. There's a lot of repeats of things I probably could have done more, like a bunch of different things, but you can see that's where I put the TV in, which I think looks really good. It's a larger TV, but I just think it kind of fits. I was gonna do the smaller one, but I'm like, no, I think this area, like maybe they're in the kitchen doing cooking show, watching a cooking show, like how to make something. I'm not too sure. Um, but then back to the couches, I was not sure. I really had no plan. I really liked the pink and blues. I kind of go with that, but not as much as like you would think. This paranormal couch was adorable. I almost went with the blue swatch, but I really liked the white swatch just because I have the like kind of white gray tables. That one island living chair I loved, and you'll see I actually end up putting it in the bedroom. Um, but that other chair I also really liked with the flower prints, and I wasn't really sure. Sorry, my dog is running around if you can hear that. But I feel like I had a lot of cute chairs and things like that. I did end up moving that rug to a different space, and that chair I just moved. I seriously love it. It's been a while since I played The Sims, and I really did have I bought a lot of stuff before I ended up having like kind of a break from it. So even you'll see it, I go through and I got a new computer and I tried to click on everything so the stars are gone, but there's a lot of things that still have the stars. I love this little rack. I ended up not keeping it there because I wasn't sure if it would I would still be able to use that chair, and I just wanted to play it safe. I did play test the apartment, so everything is usable. Um, but overall, I really started liking how it was coming out. It took me a minute to kind of figure out what I wanted, to be honest, and I really like it. I think there could be some more plants. I sized down that coffee table because it's huge, but I really like the circular one. Um, so you can see I was kind of trying to decorate the desks a little bit more. It's all it all ends up coming together in the end, but it did really take me a while to figure out what I wanted. This chair I think helped me a lot because I liked the pink color, but I just was not a fan of like I don't know. I almost did that single tail desk. It didn't work because it's kind of off centered. Um, but there's that desk I do end up going with. And I love a good entryway, and you'll see when I do start doing that, it's my favorite thing. So here I was like, I'm not liking the floors, like as the main part, because I was gonna do it lighter, and it just didn't work. And with the different tones, I wasn't a fan of that, so I ended up going with the long ones, I think from Eco Lifestyle, and then put tile in the kitchen, which I think looks good. I don't know if it's wood or tile. It's like a woody tile. Maybe vinyl. We could go with that. But I love this mirror, and I wish we had more big leaning mirrors. I don't know how I would get more of those because I'm not a huge fan of custom content. At least with building, I just feel like it makes my game go a lot slower because I'm not necessarily on a big like gaming laptop or anything. Um, but I love putting the little bike in there. I was gonna try and do like a green color, but then I'm like, no, it just wasn't working. It was like blending in too much with the plants in the mirror. So I ended up not doing that. But I do really think the main area came together. I did remember a trash can in this one. I feel like I forget some of those key details sometimes. So I'm really proud of remembering something as small as a trash can. There's definitely would have been room in this apartment if I wanted to make it multiple bedrooms, but I do think what I did, I have a pretty small bedroom already. You could easily add another bedroom instead of having like maybe the office or something. I just personally pictured 1 to 2 Sims in here. And it ends up looking pretty good. The cabinetry, I'm really a fan of using these, the interior design game, and I didn't intentionally do it, but I made it symmetrical, and then I noticed it, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna change this up, and then I didn't like it, so I just kept it symmetrical. I'm like, okay, I'll deal with it. But just throwing a bit of clutter in those boxes, I think is really fun. Um, Overall, I was really not sure what I wanted to do with this pack or this build, and I wanted to use a lot of Blooming Rooms stuff, but I just really was not sure who I was building it, and I still don't think I know entirely. I don't even know what I'm going to call this build when I post it. Um, Probably like a bookshelf, something, because that bookshelf is just gorgeous. I absolutely love it, especially how it turned out being all full. I was considering leaving some open. I ended up putting every single one with something inside of it. Um, but yeah, I do want to work on maybe branching out a little bit in my style because I feel like I have one specific style I can do pretty well, but this one I think just it's a great one to be back. You can see I'm pulling out stuff. I'm like, okay, this could be good, and the bookshelves here and there. And then these items I don't think I've seen before. So that was really cute. And I really was into mixing the different like woods, the light and the dark wood. So that was fun for me. Um You can see I was struggling with this lamp. I had no clue what was going on. But we got there because I was gonna add some more lamps in the bookshelf, but not a lot fit in there, and I didn't really want to size down anything, size it up, all of that. So you can see I start filling up the bookshelf a little bit with a few things. I have a bunch of items on the ground there that I did end up putting in. Also, this computer typewriter, I don't know what pack it's from. I really could not tell you. But I think it's the cutest thing I have ever seen. Same with that little plants in like I think of them as like science bottles. I find them adorable. um, so I just thought I use those in a few different spots. Here, I really love a good entryway, and I wasn't sure what to do since I have the stairs across the entire thing. I was thinking of maybe just doing a whole painting. I had never seen that snowboarder one, which is I think is pretty cool. Um, but I was gonna do this, but then I'm like, I want it higher, and then I just felt like it wasn't perfect, so I kind of got rid of that. Um, if it would have been lower, I would have been fine with that. So I ended up going with something a little bit more simple, abstract. I was considering doing like the globe bar, which I think is cute, but I don't think it goes with this person's personality. Um, and I love those plants. Those plants make me so happy. And the wall, I'm like, I need those. How do I get my hands on them? Um, but again, I really had no clue what to do in this corner. I ended up sizing up one of those plants. I think it ends up looking really cute. Obviously, parts of these stairs are not gonna like be usable since I have things in front of them. Like the bookshelf actually goes into the stairs, but I thought it looked weird when I just had them like barely outside of them, so I kept them out there. I think we move on to the bathroom, and I had a pretty large space for the bathroom, and I ended up changing it because I wanted to do some sort of walk-in closet with laundry. So we have that. I did end up adding a few. I end up keeping a robe in there. It's kind of in that area. You'll see it in the screenshots. I was really trying to play around with where I wanted doors to go, and I didn't realize the door I had was like a two tile one, so I ended up switching it out for a single tile one, which just kind of works a little bit better for me. Um, but then I was able to get a much bigger space for my laundry room closet, and this closet is so gorgeous. I Part of this made me think, well, this girl has to be in some sort of art type of deal because I gave her so much storage for clothes, which is very similar to how I would need my closet to look. I have a walk-in closet myself, and it is packed. I have like two dressers all full of clothes, so I totally understand. I was thinking this is definitely your typical city girl just trying to live her best life. Um, but I really liked how I did those squares. I end up filling out each one of them with shoes, which I think looks really cute. And one of the screenshots, you can't see all of the hanging clothes, but all of the sections do have the hanging clothes that are like fit for them. Here's where I switch out that rug. I just think this one fit the space better. I liked the kind of messy look. So I'm thinking this girl, I say girl, it could be anyone. But this, in my mind, is a girl because I did build this for a sim I was gonna play. She does either interior design was my main thing. I could also see her doing. I can't remember what the city living job is, but like the art inspector, something along those lines. And I just wasn't sure what I wanted her to do, which kind of makes this a very un not a very specific build. And you can see at one point I do put in an easel in the bedroom because I was not enjoying this bedroom for the longest time. I end up getting it together. You'll see that happen. I kind of just delete everything and start over. I went on Pinterest and cut that out for like 5 minutes. I saw one. It was kind of really plain, but I'm like, okay, this is a good direction. Because I did put this easel in here, and I'm like, no, I'm not a fan of that. The rest of the house is way cooler. Um, so we end up figuring that out. I go back to the bathroom. I was not feeling the bathroom. I fixed it. It looks much better. So I'm really happy about that. I also added some more clutter in the bathroom because when I went to take screenshots, it just didn't look as put together as the rest of the house. And I also changed the wood in the walk-in closet as well as fill it out with that off screen. So you'll see that in the screenshots, but here we go, finishing up the bedroom. Um, really, I really like this bedroom, but probably one sim it could easily fit two if you had them like slide over, but my sims never do that. They like to annoy me. I was gonna look for two side tables for this bed and ended up just moving it up against the wall. But for the most part, that is the build for today. Um, I try out a few different seating options here and moving things around, but I do really like it. This was my first time with the Blooming Rooms kit. I really enjoyed it, but so we're going to transition into screenshots. Like and subscribe if you liked the video, and enjoy!